Hey guys, and welcome back to another video of Knights and Cubes, the place where you can learn all sorts of tips and tricks for chess and Rubik's Cubes. Today we're going to be learning how to solve a Pyraminx using the keyhole method. And, hold on. And we're just going to full screen this. So, if you watched my other two Rubik's Cube videos, you'll know that I actually turned the camera around and was using my own Rubik's Cube, but since there were a few shadows and some difficulties with that, I decided to use an online simulator for this video. However hard it may be. Anyway, so here we have a normal Pyraminx, and then we're going to scramble it. So the keyhole method is a method to solve the Pyraminx in only 4 steps. And what we start with, if you've used the beginner's method, the first 2 steps are the exact same. The first step being you solve all of the tips. On the Pyraminx. And then to make sure you have all the colors aligned with the centerpieces, which would be this piece, and this piece. Anyway, so our next step, which is also the same thing for the beginner's method or also known as LBL for the Pyraminx, is you make the radioactive sign. And since yellow is already partly solved, we'll use the yellow. So we're gonna get all the yellow centers to facing the same all on the same side. And while we're doing that, you may have noticed that this was solved, so we want to preserve that. So we just get it out of the way, put this piece here, and get it back there, and then we have this, making the solve easier. And then actually this next algorithm is sort of similar again to the beginner's method. Don't worry guys, this is a completely different method that'll get you way faster solves for the Pyraminx with enough practice. And that is, you're gonna want to find all the edge pieces. Well, not all of them. We're only gonna want one, because we want to leave this edge open. Doesn't have to be that exact edge, the red yellow one, but since this one is already in place, we can just do a simple L prime U prime. Sorry, that was a bad angle. L prime U L, and then we have a sort of V shape here. Now, if you didn't have the piece like that, it was most likely either, just a turn away. Well, actually, let me show you how to get the piece set up. And basically, from any position on the top layer, not this edge, if this blue piece were here, it obviously wouldn't work. So let's just start here. If it were here, if this piece needs to be moved here, we would simply take it out with either R, U, R prime, or L prime, U, L. And once it's on the top, you can solve it. You can put it in from any direction. If it's here, like the complete opposite from the blue face, or the face you're like currently facing, I guess, you just do R. No, that's not R. L prime, U prime, L. And it works just the same. And that blue side is not solved, by the way. And like I showed before, if it's here, like the blue matched up with the blue on this edge matched up with the blue side, then you just do L prime, U, L to make the V shape on the bottom. Anyway, now that was the second step. The third step, it's either going to be 3 or 4 steps, and there's a 50-50 chance of getting the fourth step. This next step is to solve the upper layer, which you'll notice there's still this edge here, and you're wondering why we didn't solve that, and it's because this is like the keyhole, which is why it's called the keyhole method. You can swap it out for any different piece, and nothing's going to be messed up. Unless you swapped it out for a piece that was already solved. So let me just put it back in there. And now we don't want to just swap this piece out for any random piece. 3D simulator is kind of finicky. We want to swap this edge piece out for the piece in its spot. So right now that piece is this green and blue. Get out of here now. And we want to swap it out basically with the same algorithm, I guess, as the getting these edge pieces in, which would be, we want to move it up, so R to you see now it's matching with the centers, it's in the correct spot, and then we want to move it either to the left or the right. This first one, it doesn't really matter because wherever I put it, it's not gonna do anything. So we can just move it over here like this, and you see this edge piece is now in the correct spot, and now we have this edge piece right here that's not in the correct spot. So we're gonna want to turn the top layer to find where this edge piece goes, and as we can see, this blue-green piece is is in that spot. So now we can't do this because then it's going to be flipped. We're going to have to make it so that whatever color is facing you on the edge that you need to swap out, you want the opposite color facing you. So like this would be the opposite color. Red isn't opposite of blue in color wise, but it's on the opposite side of the blue for this edge. And then we just do this algorithm, and then we are going to do this algorithm, which is basically just L, and then we don't want to turn it this way for U, because then we would have only one edge solved still. We want to, this is the original position, we want to turn it the other way, where it's not gonna mess up any of the solved edges. And then we have this position, and then you can like solve this, but that's not going to do anything because the edges are swapped. So what you want to do in this position where you have two edges and they're both in the correct spots but flipped, is you want to get them next to each other like this. See how the flipped edges are next to each other here and here. I wish I could highlight them. And then we're just going to do simple algorithm, which is down, down, up, up, and then hold on. Sorry, I should be doing the notation, shouldn't I? R prime, L, R, L, L prime, U, L prime, U prime, U prime, L. And then for that case, you'll have this unsolved, which is like it being one move away. Obviously, you go like this. It's just called the AUF. And yeah, so we're gonna, yeah. So that is how you do the keyhole method. And for the Pyraminx, hopefully this gives you faster solves and helps you out a lot in competing, or if you're just trying to get faster at the Pyraminx.